Hello, Peaceful Profits Nation. Chanel here with an exciting client spotlight episode for you today. So today we're talking to our client, Annika Rosendahl. Annika, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Chanel. I'm happy that you want to have me here.
Yes, we're excited to dive in and learn more about you and your business. So, Annika is a result minded and caring life coach with extensive leadership experience who helps leaders find time and courage to lead their unique way. She helps individuals and corporations escape the efficiency trap and get an unbelievable amount of work done in peaceful and harmonious ways. Okay, I love that introduction. I think that just really sets the stage for who you are and what you do. So let's start off. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about the clients that you serve.
Yeah, I started serving primarily working moms. And that is, of course, because I had had then my career, a great career, and three children, and wrote books in the evenings. So the most people who asked me for help or asked Annika, how do you find the time? They were working moms. I did get from a few men, but it was primarily moms who didn't say, how do I do all of that without losing myself on the way? So that's how I started. And I can imagine that many other entrepreneurs as well feel like you start in one way and then things shift. So after a while, I was also approached by people in my old networks. When I had then left my corporate and started my business, they're like, hey, what about this leadership you work so much with? Leadership, can you give us a workshop on that? Can you do this? Can you give us a bespoke training? So I shifted over. I'm not saying I gave up on the on the working moms. They're still very much part of my what I call my time finder community. But now I do a lot of work again with corporations where I help them with leaders. So in general, people who are ambitious and they want to make even more out of life without sacrificing as much as we sometimes think we need to get so
Mm.
much done.
Okay, awesome. I love hearing that. So, one thing that stood out to me in your work is that you have long-term relationships and you really work to cultivate relationships with your clients. So, what leads to that kind of relationship in this atmosphere when we're talking about, the work that you're doing? I'm curious how you get there.
That's such a wonderful comment you're making because I'm not at all what I would myself consider a social person. I would love sitting at home and reading or writing my own books or something. Not really extrovert, let's go out. And if we do things like, okay, I'll come along. But my husband has made the same remark as you did. You build enormous amounts of relationships and deep ones. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I do. And I realized that it's part of this, what we just said in the beginning, results minded and caring. So I care about the clients. And I know everyone hopefully does, but it seems I really do. So I stay in touch. And after a while, they feel like friends. And I have this mission statement for friendship as well. I have several mission statements in my life. It's a thing I had from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
And when it comes to friendship, I get this never out of touch, always there when needed. And that kind of fits here too. So I do stay in touch. Of course, people stay on my mail list as long as they like. Then they're often also on my Facebook or my LinkedIn. And sometimes I can see a video and I remember what this person I talked about, and I can send it to you. Hey, this made me think of you. Or this is something, or I'm going to go by there. Do you want to join? And it's not only my clients, it can be people I have been in the same program with, course with, partners I have worked together with. It kind of becomes a natural thing that I don't think so much about, but it is, I think that they have become friends and I stay in touch one way or the other. And not very, no, it's not even on purpose, if I can call it that way. It's not that, oh, I'm going to contact 5 people this month, or it's not like that. It's more spontaneous, whatever happens.
Yeah. Okay. That's so cool because I really think, Peaceful Profits attracts a lot of introverted people who don't necessarily,
Yeah.
they would definitely agree with a lot of what you just said. And yet I love that you have brought this way of still connecting, of still having those relationships. And I also think it's really powerful that it's not on purpose. I think you can be intentional about it, but if you're like, okay, I'm going to contact her so that someday she'll buy from me, that has a whole different feel than just, hey, I was legitimately thinking about you. And people feel that difference. I
They
would
do.
say.
I definitely think they do. And it also makes it fun for me. Otherwise, it becomes a chore, something to tick
Yeah.
off and do. Now I just do it whenever I feel like it. And whenever I do connect with people, say after they've done a leadership training with me, and I say, like, I'm gonna connect with you on LinkedIn, it just gives us an effortless channel that we may or may not ever use. So they know that. It's just that it's going to be easy for me, for you to contact me if you want to. And
Yeah.
then I had this, my client, one of my clients who I helped him find time for his work and his family. And he was happy. We left each other. And then a year after, he came back and like, okay, just time. Life has changed. A bit of new changes at work, changes at home. I'd like to have help again, but I don't want to redo the program. It's like, no, not a problem. We'll do alumni coaching, as I call it. So I guess that's another way that you kind of, and I think that's a lot what Peaceful Profits does. You grow with your customers. Okay, so I
Yeah.
could help you here. How do I continue helping you now? What else is now needed now that you have come this far? So that is, of course, another way, like you said, to keep the relationship is to stay relevant. So no, I don't expect you to take the same program again. That would be silly, even though I have updated and improved it. But yes, let's find whatever you need now. So then it becomes a bit like it's not so much what I teach as people want to work with me. And
Yeah.
then I say, okay, what is it that I can help you with now?
That's beautiful. I love that. That's something we hear a lot here too, right? Is you solve one problem for another, for someone, and then they have another problem. And then you can be the person to solve that next level problem. So I want to get a little more clarity here about how you're helping people. So what is your current program that you do with clients?
The main one I would say is this courageous time management I've learned by you to not call it something that someone else could call it.
Yeah.
So not something that's searchable, Googleable, that someone else has done written any blog post about. So it is courageous time management. And that means I take people from where they are, what is your life now, and what do you want to have in it? And we're going to find the time because the time is there. But most of the time, we forget that we need to take care of our energy and enthusiasm to use that time well before we go into the efficiency. So there are people come to me, and one particular woman, she was in a time management program from work, and she came to me. She said, that one stresses me out. So it just makes me feel like I should be even more efficient and put even more things into
Yeah.
every little agenda slot I have. And I said, yes, because they forgot the basics. We need to take care of you, build a platform so that you're stable. Then we look into efficiency. So I help people find a way of managing their time that works for what I call humans, not human beings, not just machines, because of course,
Yeah.
efficiency, perfect for machines. We want machines to work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. We only need to plug them in. But we are different. We need energy and enthusiasm to do things well. And that is not always catered for, or very rarely catered for, in these typical ways of looking at time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing this. So you've got this program then and courageous time management. I love it. Thank
Mhm.
you for sharing that reasoning, the thought behind the name. Now, if people then go through that and want to work with you further, you mentioned, you can customize. Is it then a custom path, or how does that work after they've been through your program? Because as I was reading through what you do, you have several clients that have been
I
with you
do.
long
I,
term.
I do, yes. And I called it Time Finder Academy for a while, and I still like the name. So I have a Time Finder community, and we still meet monthly. And I know that some people who read my book might feel like, I want to work with you, but it seems difficult for me to join the program, the big program. And then that's fine. You can join us once a month. We meet and we find the time together. So that's one way to stay in touch, about never out of touch, always there when needed. So I
Yeah.
have that, and then I have this, what I call my alumni coaching. So, okay, let me help you personally here in whatever you need now that we have taken care of time, and then continue to take, because of course it's not that people leave it and think, I will never need to think of efficiency again. They will, and we continuously master things. And as I said, life changes. Maybe your work changes.
Yes.
Your children grow older, and suddenly, and your parents might grow older, and things change, and you need to figure out, how do I do it now then? So
Yeah.
it's then I do have these easier join the group thing, and I have the alumni coaching. I'll help you continued.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Thank you. That helps us get a big picture of what you're doing in your business. Now, I can see already lots of answers to this question, but I'd love to hear how you answer it. What have you done in your business to become valuable to the people you serve?
I think a lot of it has been answering to needs. So I had no intention to start my own business at this time. And I started receiving the questions, Annika, how do you find the time? So I simply answered it first. And then I understood that my answer, okay, I get your answer, but what about this? Oh, and then I would answer that. What about this? So it would start with me giving seminars actually at female networks, etc. And I noticed there were so many people coming. So I realized, whoa, this is a big thing. A lot of people are struggling with this. So I started blogging more and I started talking more. And then I started with my online courses and also programs that are fit for corporations, where I then do, I call it your effective leadership style. And then I take a group of people and we work through more or less the same program. And then we add on, how can you stop wasting time at work? How can we work better with how do you have meetings, and how do you make sure that you have lean ways of working? So it evolved. So I think I have become valuable by fulfilling a need. And the other thing, not only that's listening to what people say. I think there is something Steve Jobs said, we can't just listen to what people need, because then they're not going to come up with the new stuff. So
Yeah.
I've also looked myself, okay, looking at where they are now, what I've taught them so far, what is it that I think they can benefit from?
Mm.
And then I have given this your unique leadership style, for instance. So I started working with the Ikigai, helping people find also the purpose and that what they really want to do now that they have found time. So answering to a need and also anticipating needs and fulfilling these in ways that I thought would be useful.
Yeah. Okay. That's so good. Now, one of the things you've mentioned is you use several different platforms, LinkedIn, you said, and you have email. What role does nurturing your audience play in your business? And within those platforms, I'm also curious how you nurture.
I think the interesting thing when you say what role does it play is an immense role, of course. And I would even extend it to beyond the audience. It's also possible future audiences.
Yeah.
So I really like that in Peaceful Profits there has been these additions to phase two. So when I started, there was this LinkedIn outreach thing or Facebook outreach thing, but
Yes.
now there are many more. And one of them I really like to and have started looking into is the referral rewards program. And one of the tasks was look at how you found one of your clients and reverse engineer it. So I did reverse engineer how I got in touch with this big corporate client that I have, which is because it's really surprising that I do. I'm a small company. I have worked at big corporations. I know we usually have a preferred supplier list and it's very short and it's very big companies. So
Yeah.
it's really odd. How did that happen? And I looked at it and okay, it started with me being in the same network as some of them and just being, again, me and just sharing whatever thoughts I had and listening and building relationships and trust, giving a webinar or seminar for free at that place, then giving one that I charged for, then being asked to create a training and then continuing. So the nurturing there goes even before you have an audience. So just to
Yeah.
build an audience, so you need to nurture. And I think I called it, I want to be a helpful presence online and offline. So as that's kind of the way of being I want to be. And then yes, I do use LinkedIn. I like that one a lot since I work primarily with leaders. And thanks to this Peaceful Profits, I've improved definitely my profile. Those articles that are there. And I also have a rhythm that I like now. I enjoy using. So that is one that I like a lot. Then I have since before Facebook, and I have my email lists also since before that I continue doing. And what you said that I keep on long, very recently, someone reached out and says, "Hey, I've been on your list for 4 years. Can we do something together?" And I think
Wow.
that's really interesting. So I haven't ever given up on the email list. Of course, people join and leave and join and leave or leave, and that can feel sometimes you don't know, is anyone listening? Is anyone
Yeah.
dry reading, and then suddenly you get like, oh, I really love your mails. I'm like, oh, and then you can continue. But I never stopped, so I kept some kind of rhythm. So it has a big role to answer the question, what role
Yeah.
does it have? A big one. So to not stop, to not be irregular, not that I had to have a specific day or whatever, but I would never disappear.
Yeah. I think that's so important, that consistency. And I'm really curious, so when you go to write, a post on LinkedIn or to write an email, what are you thinking? What's the purpose of like, are you going to put in that email that will be helpful to your people? How do you determine what goes in that content?
Yeah. It's funny. It's usually things I find interesting myself,
Okay.
which is not surprising, of course.
Yeah.
But so I typically do one time finding post per week and one leadership related post per week. And then things are that I recognize from before. It can be anecdotes from my own time or some new things. I follow lots of webinars, listen to a lot of articles, which I also used to do before. And I pick up things, say, hey, this is something new. I've tried myself, I like it. So I share things that do interest myself in these two areas. And then sometimes I link to the book, sometimes I don't link to anything at all. And just sharing things that that I believe in, actually, but also that have taught me something new. So it's also my way to keep continuously up to date. I don't want to have a program that was great 3 years ago. I want to make
Yeah.
sure that not someone says, oh, but have you read that book? But have you read Atomic Habits? Have you done this? Have you done that? And then I was like, yes, of course I have, because it's my part of my business to stay up to date. So
I love
I share
that.
what I think is interesting.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear because not only is it helping you learn and grow, it's this connection where people can know you and they're learning right along with you. And it
Mhm.
just speaks to why it works because you're excited to go and do it. It's rather than a chore of like, okay, I got to tell these people something. It's you're in this world, you're learning these things, you're enjoying what you learn, and you want to share it with your people. So I think that's really powerful.
That's so true, Chanel, because I know this. Sometimes you get in my feed, you'll get 99 content ideas, and I was like, but that's the fun part. What I want to take yours? I want to have mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool because that is a place where we see people get stuck a lot. And I think there's a guiding principle here. Just if you're doing work you love, then you're
Mm,
going to be spending your time learning
mm,
it anyway.
mm,
And then just share
mhm.
what you're learning. And there you go.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so since coming to Peaceful Profits, you said that you've improved your offer, your marketing, and your confidence. So can you speak to what that means for you personally and for your business?
Yeah, I feel it's a lot of security, stability, and strength, I think. So
Mm,
if I look at, for instance, the offer, knowing, making tweaks, because that's what it was. It was a good offer, but it wasn't as clear that it was unique. And just by taking notes and learning from Mike, of course, yes, I must present it in a way so that it is obvious that this is different and how
yeah,
it is different. Also, what is it that's going to make them not want to do the offer? Made me add a very important part. I call it the control and overview session, because of course, people who feel like I don't have enough time for everything I want to do to take on a course or a program might feel hard. How am I going to fit that in? So we kind of
yeah,
start with that. And I help them get their first 3 weeks, the next 3 weeks in order. What are your commitments? What are your deadlines? Private, professional? Let's have a look. Let's create clarity and space for working with me. And the first wonderful lady I worked with, and I asked her, because I didn't know, I was working with her, we figured it out, and then she kind of looked blank. So I couldn't figure out, so how does it feel? And then she just looks at me, it's a miracle. So she was simply stunned. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, good. Because I didn't know if you weren't happy with
yeah,
it. But she really couldn't see it herself. And just to get that help, and that addition is thanks to Peaceful Profits, because I didn't think of it before that. Oh, yeah, of course, that's what make people want. I don't even know how to find the time to start it.
yeah,
So the offer has become better without me reworking all of it. So that's very nice. Maybe for someone who's out there and who thinks they have a good idea, that it doesn't have to be a lot of rework, but it can still be a big difference. So I thought that was really helpful. The marketing, oh, there are so many people. claiming to know everything about marketing. And I like that I like Mike's numbers, clarity, discussion. So it becomes a lot less guesswork, a lot more,
Yes.
okay, these are steps, these are ways you can do. And then I can choose what I do and what I don't. And then having access to really good people about helping me create this fantastic book, wonderful help, great copy, wonderful help, makes me feel like, hey, this is good stuff. I don't have to worry if it's not good enough or it's bad. I was like, no, I know this is good. I've had really expert help. And this confidence piece, I think that came from when people started reaching out to me on LinkedIn, probably because I started being more visible, and they want to help me market. Hey, I can give you leads. Hey, I can help you be more visible. Hey, I can do
Yeah.
this and that. And I said, thank you for contacting me. And I am part of something that's called Peaceful Profits. I have access to LinkedIn experts, marketing experts, sales experts, people who know Facebook. Do you think you can give me anything more? Because I have that for life. They disappear. And I don't think they should disappear. I think it would be nice of them if they said good for you or something, but normally they
Yes.
don't even say anything at all. And it was when I started answering that I realized, yeah, I do have that. So it feels like I have this huge back office.
Yeah.
So I might not be a huge, business, but I have my business, but I have a huge back office. I have for life. I have experts who are there to help me. And that builds that strength and confidence that I mentioned when I said, what has it given me? Strength and confidence. I know I can
Yeah.
always ask if I have a question.
Ah, good. That just makes me so happy to hear because you're 100% right. You do. And we have amazing experts on the Peaceful
Yes,
Profits team.
yes.
And it's so cool to see, just like you said, you know, if you bring something good that's already good and then get expert help, it just now makes it that much better. And those little changes end up making a big difference. And so, how cool to have that in your back pocket. And I love that you're answering all the people that are
Yeah.
always, reaching
Yes.
out on LinkedIn or
Mhm.
wherever. I love that you're answering them with that. Now, what advice would you give to others who are growing their business, who are looking to see the long-term client relationships that you have and to see some success in their business like you have had?
Yeah, that answer is going to sound like a typical quotes, but I'll give a background. But to listen to yourself is what I'm going to say. Listen to
Mm,
others and to yourself. Because I came from corporate, I had lots of experience, but I worked with R&D, research and development. I had not worked with marketing and sales. So I thought, I don't know that area. So I need help, which is fine. You can always ask for help. But then there were times where people, they had good stuff, but I needed to fit into something that wasn't me. And I thought, well, that's not me. It doesn't feel right. And I would unfortunately override myself sometimes, do something that didn't feel right. And another time I would meet people where I simply thought like, this doesn't sound like a good investment. So we're going to invest in this and we're going to have that. I was like, yeah, but do you understand? I said then how much I need to sell to make that work. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it'll work out. And I'm not angry with them. I'm angry with me if we're not listening to me, if we're discounting me because, oh, I haven't worked with market and sales. So no, Annika, but hello, you have plenty of business acumen. You know your business, you know yourself. They don't. So my advice is, yes, listen to others, take in advice, learn things, but always, always, always listen to yourself.
yeah.
I have do that now. I missed it a couple of in the beginning, but it's all right. We all make mistakes, but that's why I would like to share it now. Listen to yourself. Don't override your intuition.
Yeah, beautiful advice. And I think a few missteps along the way with that help you to do it even better the next
Very
time,
true.
right?
Now it became more clear that, oh
Yes.
yeah, of course, good reminder, Annika, from now on.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, I would love for you to share where people can find you and learn more about your work because I feel like your work is something that appeals to a lot of busy entrepreneurs and
It does.
people,
It does.
and working moms like you started with. There are a lot of
Mhm.
people who need what you do. So tell us where they can find out more.
They can find out more via my website, which is my name, annikarosendahl.com. And the best thing is there, either you can just contact me directly based on that, but another way to figure things out is definitely the book, which you can find via there, that I have created here in Peaceful Profits. And it will be so easy to get access to things that I think will change someone's mind immediately. So it's €5 for reading and listening, and it will help you already change a lot of your thoughts around time and find time that works for you. So become friends with time. I can help you
Perfect.
become friends with time.
Oh, and we all want to become friends with time. That is wonderful. Okay, well, we will go and check that out. Thank you for being here. I love the things that you've taught us today, and I think it's very, very helpful. And go and check her out at AnnikaRosendahl.com, and we'll see you next time. Bye.